Greetings.
Greetings and welcome, everybody. This is the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herder.
What?
Star Wars The Clone Wars review. This is Season 1, Episode 2, Rising Malevolence.
This is the first of a 3-part series. This is why I love Clone Wars as a cartoon. It had story arcs.
Yeah.
You had to wait for the next episode to have conclude, and sometimes you had to wait for the next episode after the next episode to conclude. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's very much like comic books, like how they set up comic books. It's all the same story, but you have your main story, or essentially the main B line, I guess, or whatever. It's nice. It keeps it fresh.
I dig it. All right, so this episode is all about a new super weapon that the Separatist army is concocting.
Never seen one of those before.
A cock? What?
No.
Oh.
I saw plenty of those this weekend.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
moving on. No explanation. Fuck that.
That's true. There were plural.
Yes, it was very much plural.
Gracious me. Okay, so this is the Jedi Council and the Senator Palpatine. Is it Palpatine? Senator Palpatine? What's his name? Sheev Palpatine.
Well, at this point, we don't have the first name.
We don't have a Sheev?
Yeah, first name didn't come about until Disney took over.
Right, but I know.
Yeah, well, we know now.
Okay, but I know.
Yeah.
I know Sheev. I'm old school Sheev. I know who he is. I know what color. I know what flavor ice cream he likes. That's how close I am to Sheev. All right, so the senator and the council have told Anakin to send his clone regiment to go protect the Bith system. Meanwhile, a Plo Koon, right? Plo Koon. I feel like I'm saying something racist. I say that.
No, that's Uncle George. If it's racist, it's on Uncle George.
Hey, Song of the South wasn't racist when it was released, okay? I still love the fucking Briar Rabbit.
Hey, look at fucking Dumbo.
All right.
The original Dumbo.
No, that's true. I love it.
That is...
I don't love it for its racial overtones. I love it because it's a great fucking film.
Yeah.
As much as I love Plo Koon. Okay, so Plo Koon is with his own regiment in X space. I can't remember the name of the fucking star system he's in, if they ever even mentioned it. But he runs across this new separatist...
Oh, sorry, they did. It's the Abrigados system.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we would have been...
It would have just ruined the fucking episode if we hadn't said it.
The Brexit system.
Yeah, there we go.
So he runs across the separatist weapon called the Malevolence. It's this massive, powerful starship with a insane ion cannon that is remarkably similar to the firing capacity of the Death Star if the Death Star shot ion bursts instead of, I don't know, force crystal bursts. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is interesting, right? Like, what are they called?
I don't know. I would just imagine, like, lasers. I mean, that's really essentially all it is. It's a giant fucking turbo laser that's like on crystal meth and, PCP.
Oh, gee. And
PCP. Dude, it changes everything.
Okay. I'm going to take your word. So they run across this mythical starship Malevolence that no one survives encountering. Not one person. This is very sort of 16th century pirate ship Roberts type shit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I really dig. So they run across it. The starship fires their massive ion burst, and it shuts down the entire system. So for those neophytes out there, you nerds who don't know what an ion burst is, it basically disables all mechanical everything. Period.
Well, and they explained it in the episode too.
Okay, I just felt like I should just in case.
Yeah,
people
go
didn't
ahead,
see
go
it,
ahead.
But no,
Go ahead.
it's fine.
Go ahead.
They explained it.
Go ahead. I
Okay.
pretend I know. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Let's say, for example, you're using a dildo with a
Mm-hmm.
battery.
Okay.
So a vibrator.
Yes.
You're using a vibrator, and you happen to run across the Malevolence, and they fire an ion blast at you.
Mm.
It's not going to affect you. It'll affect your pacemaker and your vibrator,
Oh, so I'm like double fucked.
shutting them both down immediately. Now, the question remains, why are you using a vibrator if you have a pacemaker? But I'm not going to get into complexities of you right now. I'm just saying,
Well, I mean, it's
then.
they're in different regions.
It's true, they are.
I mean, unless it's one of those nights where you're like really loosen up and you're going to see how far you can go.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why you guys listen to this instead
Star
of
Wars.
because God damn it, Star Wars.
See, Joe ruined me.
I know. That's gonna be the new thing now. Fucking Jackson.
Jackson. Okay. Okay, so Plo Koon's, not racial, but Koon, has been attacked by the Malevolence, and his entire fleet is shut down. Before they're all shut down, they realize their imminent doom, and they jettison every escape pod filled with the remaining troopers, well, all the troopers, hopefully, on their ship.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the starship Malevolence releases all. Okay, I'm like ruining this. I'm so sorry, people. I don't know why I'm going off on these fucking tirades about heart murmurs and needs for vibrators. I don't know, but I will say this: before they were attacked by the Malevolence, this is live too. This is what's the problem. I can't edit any of this out.
I would quit if you edited anything ever. This is gold. God damn it.
No editing. Before they announced that they were being attacked or even moved to attack, because they, of course, ran across this Malevolence that everyone was seeking, they reached out to, home base, which is essentially the Jedi Temple, and let them know that they found the Malevolence and that they were going to engage it as the Malevolence was attacking them. So they kind of knew that they were going to be, toast. So they all got into their escape pods, and they escaped to what they were hoping was safety and rescue. Mm-hmm. What they didn't realize is that the Malevolence, wait for it, was malevolent in its tactical knowledge. That's right. And they sent out these little seek and destroy ships filled with stupid battle droids to basically just bust the glass on all of the fucking escape pods.
Hey,
and
it was effective.
Let the vacuum of space do the job for them. I mean, it works.
Yeah. I mean, if they wiped out an entire fucking regiment, sans 4 people.
It works. So it did work, and they were destroying people one by one. Meanwhile, cut to the command of the Jedi Temple to send Skywalker's fleet in to protect the BIS system. Ahsoka Tano, otherwise known as Snips, annoyingly, gets this sense, this feeling. Did it ever explain to you how Ahsoka and Plo knew each other?
Yeah, she told the story.
Okay, because I wasn't really paying attention that time. Do you want to tell us?
Well, yeah. Like Plo Koon's the one that discovered her and brought her to the temple.
I knew that.
Like rescued her and brought her to the temple. I know, because you were listening to the episode. I was
totally paying attention.
Just like, when it was actually just Anakin and Ahsoka that knew about the whole communication with Plo Koon, and then they told the everybody else. But that's okay.
I don't like your tone.
It's okay. It's live. It's cool. It's cool.
You're dirty insinuation.
Campbell.
Okay. God damn it! I did watch it, just barely too. That's the worst part. I was eating dinner at the same time though, so.
Oh, see, yeah. I have to focus on it, otherwise I get caught up in every other shit.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, the Schnitzel und Pommes frites was much better than the episode, even though I do love this episode.
Oh, I can imagine. That sounds killer.
It was pretty awesome. All right, so they against the orders of the council, not really against, just sort of circumnavigating the direct order of the council. They sent his fleet to go to the Bith system for protection, and they went to look for Plo Koon. This is where we sort of turn from traditional Star Wars into horror Star Wars. And I don't know if you got the same vibe as I did, but this is what I love about some Star Wars episodes, is that you suddenly find yourself in a survival story, a situation that in any big blockbuster would be the entirety of the story. And as Clone Wars episode is just an episode. But if you stop and think about it, they were in a space survival being hunted by non-sentient beings bent on murdering them, and they had to hope that someone was coming to save them.
Oh yeah,
I just love like you could easily sort of sugarcoat it or forget about it because it's a cartoon. So how real is it? And you know that they're gonna come rescue them because it's Plo Koon, and you know that Anakin always wins until he doesn't, and then Snips is annoying. So something's gonna happen, but. Yeah. Just putting myself in that position, that's terrifying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially once they decide, fuck it, we're gonna go ahead and pop out of this because you know what, I can handle the vacuum of space because I'm some weird sentient being that isn't explained at all.
That was pretty weird, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, it wasn't weird. I buy it because, of course, like assuming the vacuum of space in that region of the galaxy is the same as, say, our region of the galaxy, assuming it's real,
right?
Like their galaxy, not ours. Like you can survive up to 2 minutes in the vacuum of space, like unsealed from anything. Mm-hmm. It's not comfortable. You're going to freeze to death, and every bit of oxygen is going to be pulled from your body, but you can survive for a good solid 2 minutes. Yeah. So I just wonder how his species knows they can survive that, or if it's just him being like, oh yeah, I'm a Jedi Master, I got this shit.
He's just being egotistical. He's like, no, I got it. And then just dies immediately.
I mean, whatever, it works.
So he's a Keldor as a species, and the reason why he wears the mask is because his atmosphere that he's normally used to living in and his lung functions is much different than a regular human being. And so that's why his physiology is actually built for more of a devoid sort of environment than humans are. So he would still die in the vacuum of space. It just takes longer for him compared to clone troopers who are basically human beings in the vacuum of space.
Well, there you go. Now I just sound like an idiot.
No. I do like that you brought up the whole 2 minute thing because that's real. That's not
no, that's legit.
Every science fiction movie I've ever seen from my childhood to like 3 years ago, and like 10 years ago, was if you were exposed to the vacuum of space, you would instantly freeze and die. Like that was it. Like that, nothing else. And then I heard this episode of Star Talk Radio with Neil deGrasse Tyson that was talking about it. And he was like, no, you can actually, for like minutes, you can survive. You'll need help, but you'll still live.
That was, okay, so the whole movie aside, like let's not even fucking get into it. But that was one of the things that I defended the fuck out of in The Last Jedi, was the whole bridge exploding and Leia going out, and everybody's like, oh, fucking Jedi can't fly, and she would have froze to death and she would have died immediately. It's like, no, you don't die. You got a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. And two, what do you think pulling a fucking lightsaber is to you? Like, it's the same goddamn concept. It's just obviously bigger, so she's going to go to it versus her pulling the ship to her. Or maybe that was the ship going to her. I don't know. Yeah. Fucking people.
I'm 100% on board.
Yeah.
I totally, I mentally, I already, when I watched it, I did the math. I didn't like the look of it. But I totally bought the science.
It looked awful.
The fantasy behind it,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Dug it. Yeah. First of all, there's an amazing science fiction film that everyone has to watch by Danny Boyle called Sunshine. Ooh, shit. I hope I just said that right. I think it's Sunshine. I'm pretty sure it's Sunshine. It's a brilliant one, but there's wonderful moments of exposure in space and what human beings have to do in order to survive it. It's very brief. It doesn't get into the science like we just did here because we're scientists, but they're just stupid actors. But it was a brilliant film. Anyway, we're talking about Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Let's get back to it. Anakin and Ahsoka, of course, they're gonna find fucking Plo Koon and the surviving
Because
clone
of R2.
troopers.
Don't forget R2. R2
Right, 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 right.
how they
And then
found
they
him.
shut his ass down.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for your help. Pew!
Yeah. It's like they couldn't even ask him to do it himself.
Yeah, they're like,
That's
hey, is
just
this
like
okay, buddy? Because, survival. And he's like, no, I understand. Pew! No, fucking Ahsoka. Snips had to fuck him up. What I loved about this was the sort of panic of a survival horror movie in space. That's sort of my bread and butter from Alien,
Oh
the
yeah.
year after fucking Star Wars came out. Um, I love that space survival idea. And so this episode really brought it home. The whole reason why I loved that episode of Resistance so much when we watched it, I can't remember the name of it now because it's been so long. But it was when, the Quacky
Signal
Monkey
from Sector
Lizard.
6.
Yeah, Signal from Sector 6. This should be tattooed on my fucking balls.
Dude, matching tattoos.
Yeah!
Or you get Signal from and I'll get Sector 6.
Oh, yeah. We have to be together for it to make sense.
Yeah.
Gayest thing you've ever suggested. And there's been a lot of weird stuff, people. Let me tell you. Why are we deviating so much during this episode? Holy shit! We'll get through this.
Maybe.
Okay, what happens? So, I love the survival horror aspects of it. I really love it when they're not just trying to survive, but they realize that there's actually like a squad trying to kill them.
Yeah.
That was so brilliant because you are just inevitably waiting for your death. And, you fast forward to what we just mentioned where Plo Koon is like, hey, I can survive for a while. Get your helmets on. We're going out there to fight. And I love the hopelessness, the air of hopelessness that the troopers have. They're like, why would anyone want to save us? We're just clone troopers. And this is a theme that was started in episode 1 that we've already spoken to, that they're presented in the frame of just droids. But we're being force-fed this idea that every human life is special, even if it's a cloned human life. Which I don't know if I agree with because, we don't have clones yet.
I don't agree with the fact that any life is important, so I feel you.
That's very empowering. And dickish. But I dig it.
That's okay.
No, I agree, though. It's a totally manufactured idea, the sanctity of life. I mean, let's not, rap fucking philosophical about this, but it's certainly the mind frame that they're in. Like, why would they ever send anyone else? There's never been a trace of a survivor attack from this starship of the Separatists. Why would this be any different? There's a doom that just sort of like draped over them. And we know as the audience that they're coming to try to find them, and they try to sort of, throw us off our footing by having the Senator Palpatine actually reach out to Anakin saying, hey, turn around, go back, don't continue pursuing him, which I thought was a really wonderful note because I don't think at this moment Palpatine thinks Anakin's going to survive.
Yeah, that's true. He shouldn't by all accounts because, of course, Palpatine knows exactly what the fucking malevolence is.
Yeah, he's like, I'm grooming this young Jedi to be my next Sith apprentice, and he just walked into my real life apprentice's like realm. Like he's gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
I only bring it up because I've never seen a moment where I actually thought like Palpatine cared about anyone except for during the Obi-Wan Anakin battle. And so it's really interesting seeing him react that way to Anakin as a younger Jedi saying, no, turn around. I implore you, please do not pursue this. You're going to die.
Well, see, I almost wonder, though, if that's because it's the council that's talking to him. Like, I don't...
Talking to Palpatine?
Yeah, because they were, all in the Senate chamber, or not the Senate chamber, but the Temple chamber when they found out that Anakin and Ahsoka weren't there. And so the whole premise was he was calling to say, hey, turn your fucking fleet around. And it's like, oh, no, it's just us. It's cool, bro. And he's like, oh, well, still turn around, guy. So I don't know. I guess I could see it either way, though.
That's interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't
I don't know.
necessarily. I because to your point earlier, he is the one that's pulling the strings of the Separatist army. Like
Yeah.
he knows what he's going up against, and so whether it's his need for Anakin to survive or his need for Anakin not to expose, he doesn't want Anakin there.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going with modern suggested canon in that he created Anakin out of the pure Force itself, he knows the raw power that this kid has that he hasn't yet tapped into. If he happens to tap into a part of that, his whole machinations are going to go up in smoke.
Yeah.
I like that idea. All right. Either way, he tells him to stay away, and
Yeah.
Anakin's like, "Fuck that! I'm in like Flynn." After Ahsoka tells him to not listen to Palpatine and to go save him.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that happened twice.
What do you think about that? Like, Anakin's instincts are off, and yet this young Padawan is on.
Well, honestly, it makes sense because unlike Anakin and Plo, like Ahsoka and Plo Koon have a connection.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, while R2 is actively looking for him or for any sort of life form readouts, she's actively searching for him in the Force.
Right.
So she's going to know damn well what his signature in the Force is. So I buy it that she's more attuned, at least in this scenario, than Anakin would be.
How much of this, at this point on the release of this episode, have we had of Force sensitivity? Because we had Empire Strikes Back, where Luke reaches out to Leia, and then Vader reaches out to Luke. So we knew this was a thing. Was proximity ever a notion with that, or was it just simply, oh, they're using the Force so they can reach out to each other?
No, proximity definitely wasn't it, especially with the whole Vader to Luke thing. Wait,
I mean, they were still around
that's
Bespin.
Never mind. What the hell am I thinking?
At the same time, that's why this struck me as a little odd because, and maybe it didn't. I don't know. She has this itchy feeling. She didn't have any like Force connection, but she had this feeling. Oh, he must have survived because I had a personal experience with the dude. They get into the star system around this planet, and they're like, the Brexit planet. See, I remember.
Yeah, hell yeah, you do.
The right name, Brexit. They get around Brexit, and she's like, I could go for a waffle. It turned into breakfast for me in my head. I'm sorry.
No, I never apologize.
Whatever it originally started as is now breakfast. The breakfast system. Breakfast club system. Oh, shit. Don't forget about me. And that's fitting because she didn't. She reaches out to Plo.
See, and that's fucking full circle right there.
Seriously, man. See what I'm doing? You think it's craziness.
Like, oh, yeah, sorry, we keep going off the rails. No, you've got a fucking plan, dude.
Which actually coincidentally goes right back to the penis showing night. So it's all full circle.
Yeah, that is very fucking true.
So weird. So we get to the Breakfast Club system, and she immediately senses him. And in my head, I was like, huh. I didn't dispute it. I didn't disagree with it. I just thought, huh. Like, why would she have any special connection with this guy other than him picking her ass up from some crazy fucking planet? And why would she be able to reach out through the Force when Anakin couldn't and feel him?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Is just like, having a handshake with someone more powerful than, I don't know, being born of the Force?
I don't know. I the way I look at it, the way I kind of, I guess, justify it is just intent.
Yeah.
Because he's focused on flying and visually looking for life forms while paying attention to what R2's doing and saying, whereas she's just actively like in the reaching out with the Force.
That makes perfect sense. All right.
Plus, we don't really know how much of a connection that they had other than just that he was the one that rescued Ahsoka and brought her to the temple.
It was a really romantic dinner one night.
Maybe. That's totally not creepy at all.
It's like,
you know what? We don't know what the age of consent is in outer space. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's like that whole Game of Thrones episode where they thought the girl was super young, but she was actually 21, so it was okay. maybe this is the same situation. Maybe Snips is actually like 21, and we just don't know because she's a fucking cartoon. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah, we'll
Plo's
go with
down
that.
with it. I don't know. Maybe he's a Catholic priest and this is all a sordid affair. I don't know. I'm not trying to pretend like I know. I don't know. All right. So either way, she senses him. They go reach out. Basically, Plo Koon and his troopers like save themselves from the immediate threat, but the inevitability of the Malevolence will run across them if they're not absolutely rescued. They are the Malevolence. We have this really wonderful sort of Empire Strikes Back, Han and Chewie trying to leave Hoth moment where the clone troopers are like, how am I going to do this? He's like, this one goes there, that one goes there. Exact wording of Han Solo yelling at the Wookiee Chewbacca.
Yeah.
On the off chance you didn't know Chewbacca's name. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. I just thought that was great. I was like, oh, a callback. I love that. You know they did that intentionally. Like they don't
of course.
accidentally throw shit like that together.
Well, you
so I
have to
appreciate
pull shit like that because I mean you already know it works.
Mm-hmm.
So why not use it again?
It's great. Anyway, ultimately, this is fucking rambling. Well, ultimately, they're rescued, and this wonderful, message of, "Hey, you went against the system. That's okay. I'm not going to get in trouble alone, though. So get your ass with me to the Jedi Temple and face the music with me." But it was this really wonderful moment of bonding between master and apprentice, which we don't get a whole lot of. Let's be fair.
Yeah, we really don't. We got 6 fucking seasons. We really don't see much of that.
That was nice. I do, even though it's really, really heavy-handed, I do appreciate the doubling down on the idea that clones are not droids. They are human beings or entities in the very least, and they are valued by their generals. And that really sets them apart. That really draws a firm line between the Separatists and the Republic at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that, even if it's a sort of sub-story plot line that doesn't go anywhere. But again, this is
it kind of does. I mean, because we do get a pretty heavy arc in the latter seasons, where it's just strictly just clones.
That's true. Okay. We also end knowing that we will inevitably encounter the Malevolence, and that Count Dooku is not so pleased with General Grievous. I said it right.
You fucking did, dude.
Yeah!
So proud of you.
Yeah! Campbell! No one has a fucking clue.
I fucking love Joe.
And then that there is possibly some sort of retribution exacted by the master, Sidious, which never fucking happens. We know what happens to Grievous, so whatever. So what do you like feelings about this? You good with it? You happy?
Honestly, I must not really remember much of the first season because I am enjoying this so damn much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just everything else that I've watched in between the first time I watched this and now, but I'm fucking on board completely.
Maybe you're just comparing Resistance.
I really think I really think that's what it is. Like Resistance just was so fucking horrible that everything else, like I should probably watch The Last Jedi. It's like,
shit!
I bet it's amazing.
Oh shit!
No, I'm sure it's still not the best. But yeah, I'm legit excited. I have a hard time not just plowing through the season.
Yeah,
like actually doing
knowing
one
you're
episode
at the beginning of an arc.
Oh yeah.
Because this is what the Clone Wars is known for, is story arcs. It's always a 3-episode thing, 3 acts, just like a film. If you're a screenwriter or you've done any creative writing, you know that every story has 3 acts in it. Every play has 3 acts in it. And it's just sort of the way that we have condensed storylines. You have an introduction, you have a challenge, and you have a resolution. That's everything. And knowing that there's an episode that not only contains that 3-story arc within itself, but that there's a larger 3-story arc that it's going to go into, like every sequel we've ever seen in Star Wars. That's exciting, knowing it's going to continue a storyline and it's not just this one-off thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, well, that's it, people.
Said
Thanks.
it better. I fucking agree.
Yeah.
It is. It's so damn difficult. Like it's like the Blu-ray's already loaded in. Fuck it, I want to
Hold
finish,
off.
but no,
Hold
I'll
off.
wait. I'll wait.
7 days, or just watch it again in 7 days. I don't care which.
There's that.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of review of Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 2. I'm sorry, no, that's a lie. Rising Malevolence.
Rising Malevolence.
Can you do an episode, Emperor, voice thing?
Probably not right now. I'd fucking end up like shitting myself or something.
Oh,
My throat's
shit.
so raw.
I dig deep.
I dig way deep.
All right, people. Until the next episode of review, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Like and share this video. I'm rapping. And, yo. Sorry. I don't know why I did that. I'm white. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm white.
Hey, some white people can rap.
One. I don't know. I don't know more than two. Everlast and Eminem. Who else?
MC Chris, MC Lars.
All right. Fuck
it. MC Frontal. I can keep this going.
I feel like you're just saying MC and a name. MC Nabisco.
Nope, they're legit rappers.
MC
I have
Korn.
their albums right next to me.
All right. All right. I don't know white people. Maybe I'm not white. Holy shit. What if I'm not? What if I'm Boricua?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Native Puerto Rican, for those of you who don't know.
Boricua. Gotcha. I was just making sure that you knew.
Yeah. No. I get it. I don't know what the fuck is happening. All right, everyone. Until next episode. Until next week. Until next week's episode, where we got a good guest. May the force be with you.
Right beside you, Sky Guy.
What's up, Princess Mimi? Princess Mimi.